I'd like to call this public meeting to order. Today's date is Wednesday, April 28th, 2021. First off, before we get started, I'd like to apologize to everyone who was looking to watch us via our Facebook page. However, we were having some technical difficulties with Facebook. And now we have a link on our Municipality District of Yarmouth Facebook page, which I believe most councilors have shared, myself included. So sorry for the inconvenience and the wait, everyone. All right, we'll move on to item number 2, the statement of the purpose. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider the proposed amendments to subdivision bylaw S-0810, S-0810-20. The amendments are suggested in order to update the subdivision bylaw with respect to bond requirements and other minor corrections. Item number 3, is there any presentators for this public hearing? So there is not. Item number 4, is there any written submissions for this public hearing?
No written submissions received, Mr. Chair.
All right, move on to item number 5. Is there any councillor comments for this public hearing? Hearing none, move on to item number 6. Is there any staff comments for this public hearing?
None from me, Mr. Chair. Ms. Robertson, do you have anything for council?
I can just do a quick overview of the proposed amendments if you'd like, and I'm happy to answer any questions when it goes to second reading as well. So however you would like me to proceed.
What is the wishes of council?
Please.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right.
Well, good evening, council and public. So for these amendments that we're bringing forward are a result of the major amendments that were done in August to the subdivision bylaw. So as part of when we do major overhauls of bylaws like this, it happens that when you start actually enforcing it and utilizing the bylaw, that sometimes you notice that small items need to be changed. So the large item on this amendment that has brought it forward is there is a policy within the bylaw that requires that when a developer is doing a subdivision with a private road, that they start a homeowners association. And because the lots for the future homeowners often aren't sold yet when the subdivision process happens, what this bond allows is that the developer can give a bond to council in trust with the intention that once they sell a certain number of the lots and that they will enter into a homeowners association for the maintenance of the road. So at the time that the bylaw was adopted with the new changes, there was actually only some placeholders for this policy. So it just said bond amount and bond time period. So what we're proposing here is that we actually put in that amount and that time frame. So we're proposing $5,000 within a 2-year period. And the intent is that should the developer not follow through with starting that homeowners association, that council would be able to use that bond money to do so themselves, or to make that move forward with that policy. In addition to that, there was just a few minor corrections that we figured we would put in with the same amendment. So there is a small typo between the conversion between feet and meters. So we've corrected that. There are several forms at the end of the subdivision bylaw that reference the old Provincial Planning Act, which is acceptable and still legally appropriate. However, since we're making these changes anyway, we've updated the references so that they follow the right regulations within the Municipal Government Act instead. And then the last change that we are proposing here is that Consistently throughout the subdivision bylaw, there is the use of the term parkland and when talking about communal public open space. And then there is one policy that instead of using the term parkland, they've used open space. So just to make everything consistent and easy for the development officer when enforcing the bylaw, we're recommending that we're going to change that terminology open space to be more consistent and use the word parkland instead. So as far as I know, no written submissions have been sent in for this public hearing on this. So as the planner, I'm recommending that this move to second reading and be discussed at council tonight. So I'm happy to answer any questions from council at that time or in this setting if there's any from the public.
There's no public participation in this meeting that's on the webinar at this time.
It's a hearing, so you can, Mr. Chair, at your discretion, open the floor. There are attendees. We would have to promote them to panelists if they wanted to speak with council on the matter.
All right. But this is just a public hearing. There was no request to be heard during this public hearing, so I'm going to make the call that that's it. So with that said, we'll move on to item number 7 and need a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Patty Durkee. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Daniel Allen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried.